1031 WGY, I'm Diane Donato. Governor Cuomo says the numbers are looking a little better. Your top stories in 1 minute, but first, traffic and weather.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
Watch out for some debris on the roadway on the southbound side of the thruway as you go south of the I-90 interchange down towards 787. The right lane is out of service. Also, as you go south of 787, the right lane's closed. That is construction. And northbound coming up on the I-90 interchange, that is maintenance work. Up and down the Northway, good ride so far. From the WGY Price Chopper Market 32 Traffic Center, I'm Mike Barker.
It's easier to change the world than you think. Sponsor a child in extreme poverty with Compassion International, and you will change the world for that child. Just text the word child to 83393 to sponsor right now.
WGY AccuWeather forecast tonight breezy with a rain or snow shower in spots, the low down to 35. Tomorrow partly sunny, the high 51. Sunday clouds and sun and the high 61. 47 degrees, cloudy and breezy currently at News Radio 810 and 1031 WGY. Our top story, Governor Cuomo says he's cautiously optimistic that we are slowing the spread of COVID-19. He says in the past 24 hours there were 17 fewer ICU admissions than the day before. Cuomo talked about the differences between the projections and the current numbers. Cuomo says it is clear social distancing is making the difference.
So the big variable was what policies do you put in place? And the bigger variable, does anybody care? And does anyone follow it? And all these social distancing, stay at home, nobody has ever done this before. So the statisticians had to come up with a premise on how many would comply, and we've actually exceeded that.
Despite the encouraging news, Cuomo says 777 New Yorkers died from COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. An Albany County man in his 50s has died, bringing the death toll in that county to 12. 397 people have tested positive there. County Health Commissioner Dr. Elizabeth Whalen says the uptick is due to an increase in testing.
Yesterday we were able to test 229 residents in Albany County. If you've been following the daily totals of how many are tested, it's usually a number between 70 and 85. So this is a significant increase.
Testing at the UAlbany Center, however, was temporarily suspended. That center consists of tents, and so they suspended it during the high wind advisory. Two sources, including the New York Post, are reporting that former State Senate Majority Leader Dean Skelos is being quarantined in prison after complaining of a coronavirus-like stomach ailment. Skelos, who is 72 years old, was convicted of public corruption for using his office to get his son Adam a job and cash. Nearly a year after fire all but destroyed France's Notre Dame Cathedral, the 13th century house of worship hosted a brief Good Friday service. Because of the pandemic, only 7 people participated in the ceremony inside the cathedral. For more news, listen to The Daily Dive. The big news stories explained, not shouted. Listen to The Daily Dive each day on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. WGY News Time is 3:34. Our next news update at 4. I'm Diane Donato. The Sean Hannity Show continues in less than 3 minutes on News Radio 810 and 1031 WGY.
Jumpstart the summer fun by planning your dream deck now with the design pros at Curtis Lumber. Say goodbye to sanding and staining with low-maintenance Trex composite decking. Add Trex railing and lighting to customize a deck that fits your style. Request a quote today at curtislumber.com. Take delivery when you're ready to build. And don't forget your dock. Curtis Lumber has everything to create the perfect dock to fit your needs. Live your best life outdoors with a new deck or dock from Curtis Lumber.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, Mac Fawn Restoration is here to help. Mac Fawn Restoration offers specialty cleaning and disinfection to help keep your property safe. The Capital Region's most trusted resource for mold, fire, water, smoke, and biohazard restoration. Visit MacFawn.com. When you need us, we'll be there.
Get your free credit scorecard today, even if you're not a Discover customer. It includes your FICO credit score, and checking your scorecard won't hurt your credit. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
So are you the type of guy that wants to look put together but doesn't want to spend hours shopping? I hear you. This is why there's Stitch Fix, your personal styling service that delivers hand-picked clothes right to you. Stitch Fix is simple and convenient. Sign up in just a few minutes. Try new styles in the comfort of your own home, and there's no subscription required ever. So, isn't it time to refresh your look? Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix. Personal styling for everybody.
This is Joanne Jenkins, CEO of AARP. The coronavirus continues to affect us all, and we are here actively supporting you and your community. Every day we're providing trusted information from top health experts, sharing tools to help protect families from fraud, and creating resources to support family caregivers everywhere. As always, you can count on AARP to advocate for you and your family. Join us and stay connected at aarp.org.
For the Joe Moore Awards as well. So we watch a lot of tape. That's the award for the best offensive line in college football. And so we watch a lot of offensive lines. And I got to tell you, man, Jedrick Wills popped early on to us last year and then again this year. His ability to drive people and move human flesh off the ball and get bodies moving around the grass. His ability to slide, and I could, Doug, one of the things I know you got a basketball background. My dad was an NFL offensive line coach, and he always talks about pass protection in boxing and basketball. You've got to be able to slide, redirect. You think of the ability to slide out to catch people who are trying to rush the edge, and then they make their inside counter. You have that ability to redirect inside. That's not easy. And that's something that he does with relative ease on top of being a body mover. That's rare in college football to see a tackle who has both of those elements to his game right now, but that's what Jedrick Wills has. So to me, he's the clear-cut number one of this class.
All right, same question for the wide receivers. There's a long laundry list of guys that are going to go in the early rounds. We've seen wide receivers suddenly become a $20 million per year plus position, and you start to kind of look down these draft boards, and you're like, all right, you got Jerry Jeudy, but some people love C.D. Lamb, others love Henry Ruggs, who's just a complete and total freak athlete. The Justin Jefferson kid out of LSU had an incredible year. Is it Jerry Jeudy head and tails above everybody else?
No, I don't think so. I think it's Jeudy and Lamb are right there. And to me, the way they have it, so quarterbacks are in the four, you mentioned the top four. Tackles are a four-man group. And wide receivers right now are a three-man group with Ruggs, Jeudy, and Lamb. And a lot of people have Jeudy and Lamb right there next to each other. I give a very, very slight lean to C.D. Lamb. However, let me say this. There is not a Calvin Johnson in this draft. There's not a true big-time number one wide receiver. There's good receivers, and it's extraordinarily deep with a wide variety of types of wide receivers. But there's not that one big-time number one wide receiver in this draft. And I think sometimes that, it feels like people are making an assumption that that's in this draft since it's such a deep and well-balanced draft. It's a little light on high-end talent. So I would say Lamb and Jeudy are very, very close, and then right behind is the explosive Ruggs. But the great thing is you can go find second wide receivers and third wide receivers probably all the way into the late fourth round, maybe even into the mid-fifth.
Yeah, which is interesting based upon what the Rams have done, right? Where the Rams went and got a second-round pick yesterday for Brandon Cooks, and then you have the Houston Texans, who still have a second-round pick now, also have an additional fourth, and now they have two absolute burners. What did you think of that trade yesterday?
I didn't really care for it. I thought you could have found a younger player at pick number 40 who would have been a good wide receiver because of the depth and the way that I think the draft would break out. You have Kenny Stills, you have Randall Cobb, you have Will Fuller coming back from injury. I felt like you could have drafted wide receiver at 40 and hung on to 57 for another position. They had a lot of position at need. I think the Rams did a great job getting rid of that contract and then the ability to grab a wide receiver if they so choose in an extremely deep wide receiver draft. I thought that was an easy win for them and an easy choice. And so finding a trade partner that would give them a second rounder for a guy who's had 4 concussions over the last 2 seasons, I'm sure they were a little bit surprised as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, if you got a bad contract, call Bill O'Brien, right?
Yeah, no question.
Call Bill O'Brien. You never know. I feel like the Rams have kind of quietly here chapter 11, right? They've reorganized their staff. They got rid of the 2 really bad contracts on the offensive side of the football, and obviously still need to work through offensive line stuff as well. But Jalen Ramsey, we'll see if that works long term. Jared Goff, a little disappointing, but to be 9-7 in a disappointing year and then reorganize, and I feel like that's kind of their plan, and that's how it's playing out. Lance Zierlein joining us, NFL Network draft analyst. Last thing, you have the Patriots, and it doesn't appear that they're going to draft a quarterback. What are your expectations for the Patriots if they go as is at that position?
Well, I've studied some of what Bill Belichick tries to do historically, because he's really been a wild card for years and years, where his picks don't necessarily align with other people's expectations.
Sure.
But one of the consistencies that he will use the first round to draft on the front. So whether it's defensive line, offensive line, interior linebackers, he loves finding edge rush. He's not really big into wide receivers early on. Typically, he did use a running back, first round running back pick with Sony Michel, which was a little bit surprising. I would say I think he's going to look at defensive line, and I think Yetur Gross-Matos from Penn State really fits the physical profile of what he looks for, because he does have certain types of players that he looks for. I think he would make some sense. I think there's a chance that K'Lavon Chaisson from LSU could make some sense in his particular defense. Now, I think I found their third round pick. I just had to write something for NFL.com about two players that fit, and because the Patriots, once you get outside of the first, they don't have a second. But in the third round, I think Van Jefferson from Florida is the next Julian Edelman type wide receiver. He comes from a football family. His dad is a wide receivers coach for the Jets. So I think the Patriots will find a wide receiver in the third round who could end up becoming a high-volume target within the next couple of years.
Awesome stuff. Lance Zierlein, follow him on any social media, of course. Get ready for the NFL Draft on the NFL Network. Lance, thanks so much for your time. Enjoy the prep. We'll talk to you soon.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Doug.
Great stuff, man. Awesome insight from Lance Zierlein, who is just a complete wealth of knowledge. Will this be Drew Brees' final season? If you haven't heard the news as to what he's doing next, we'll discuss next.
This is the Doug Gottlieb Show on Fox Sports Radio. We found out a lot this week. Every single day there's a new story. Tom Brady is just like us. Thank you, Tom. Sports may return sooner rather than later. Who knows? And the NFL Draft will be a virtual experience. I got to give the NFL props here. When news goes down, we talk about it on Fox Sports Radio.
With all that's going on, it's easy to forget to take care of ourselves with exercise. Even if we're staying home and staying safe, we need to keep our bodies moving to keep our spirits high. Our trusted friends at Cadenwood, the leaders in CBD, have a way to help. Level Select CBD is a complete line of products, including sports creams and roll-ons. They started with a penetrating formula that on its own is a great sports cream. Then they added enough CBD to be really effective. Level Select CBD is independently tested with 0% THC and made in the USA. It's the choice athletes and non-athletes alike swear by. Visit LevelSelectCBD.com. Order any of their products right now and get 15% off. Use promo code CBD15. That's LevelSelectCBD.com, promo code CBD15. Or subscribe and save even more. LevelSelectCBD.com.
Man, with today's health concerns, it's more important than ever to take care of your body. That means eating right, sleeping enough, and maybe even taking supplements. My supplement is M-Drive Elite. Designed to strengthen your body, M-Drive Elite is packed with powerful, clinically tested ingredients, including immune support, all in one easy supplement. M-Drive Elite. Elite testosterone and immune support. Get M-Drive Elite at GNC and Vitamin Shop, or go to mdriveformen.com and use code DRIVE to get 20% off your first M-Drive purchase. Refine your prime with M-Drive.
How much money would you like to save just by doing something you're already doing? How about 40%? With Allstate, safe drivers can save 40% just by doing something they're already doing. Driving safe. That's right, 40% just by driving safe. Visit Allstate.com or call a local agent for a quote today and see just how much you can save when you drive safe with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Savings vary based on drive-wise and other safe driving discounts. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You're a winner.
You are a winner.
You're our winner.
For more information about contests on this station, go to foxsports980.com/rules.
People everywhere are looking out for each other right now, and there are a few businesses that are doing good too. Hyundai Hope on Wheels is taking new steps to help families in need, with a commitment to support drive-through testing locations for COVID-19 in cities across the country so families can get tested safely. Because making things better for families is Hyundai's first priority. Meals Up, a new initiative from private aviation company Wheels Up, will supply 10 million meals to the food insecure and those facing hunger during the COVID-19 crisis. Wheels Up is working in partnership with Feeding America and its network of food banks feeding the hungry across the country. MGA Entertainment, the company behind LOL Surprise and Little Tykes, has launched Operation Pac-Man to raise funds for critically needed personal protective equipment. To kick it off, MGA Entertainment is committing $5 million to the cause and will match donations raised by the public. Doing good is good business. We'll let you know about other businesses doing good as we hear about them.
Quick Response is inviting all first responders to bring their vehicles for disinfection at no charge to 2077 Route 9 Round Lake, weekdays from 2 until 5 p.m. They understand it may be difficult to travel to their location. Therefore, Quick Response will be launching new mobile disinfection stations in Albany, Schenectady, Troy, Saratoga, and the North Country. Exact locations will be announced soon. Visit Quick Response Restoration on Facebook or their website to stay informed about the coming mobile disinfection stations near you. Quick Response thanks all for helping to keep us safe. Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines that prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. See website for full details and important safety information.
Hey guys, good news. The expensive little blue pill is now generic, which means the prescription medication to treat ED is super affordable at 4hands.com. And now get your first online doctor's visit free at 4hands.com. That's right, zero copay, no awkward face-to-face conversations to get your prescription. That's really good news. To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, 4hands.com/joy. That's FORHIMS.com/joy.
Coronavirus, what you need to know.
A new national referral number is helping families find not-for-profit hospice providers in their communities. The National Partnership for Hospice Innovation just launched a nationwide referral number focused on safely caring for people with serious illness at home. When you call, you're connected with local not-for-profit hospice programs.
If you're in California and you're worried about mom who's in Texas or on the East Coast, this really allows you to access that provider in your community.
Tom Kasumpis, President and CEO of National Partnership for Hospice Innovation.
We provide care regardless of the ability to pay. Our focus is on the patient, the family, providing the highest quality care.
NPHI is available 24/7. The number to call is 844-GET-NPHI. Go to the iHeartRadio app and tap the podcast tab for all the latest news and information about coronavirus.
I'm Jason Flom, founding board member of the Innocence Project. My new podcast is Wrongful Conviction, available on iHeartRadio. On Wrongful Conviction, I interview a different exoneree every week and help them to tell their incredible stories of tragedy and triumph against impossible odds. You've got to hear it to believe it. Wrongful Conviction from iHeart Studios, available now on iHeartRadio. Fox Sports 980, now on 95.9 FM. Your television. Go to foxsports.com for details.
Back on the show, Fox Sports Radio. This is my daughter, Harper. Made a presentation last night on why, on her birthday, which is next Tuesday, she should get a small pet for her room. It was great. It was a PowerPoint. She was effective. She made eye contact. She worked the room. She was funny. I don't know if it was effective. Like, I'm not running out to a pet store, which are apparently still open. Right? Like, pet stores aren't open. They are open. If anybody would like to give me their feedback on bearded dragons, parakeet, or turtle. And I do know their lifespans. I don't need. She actually had that as part of her research. The cost to own, she had that as part of her research. The amount of space they need, part of her research.
We do have a dog. We do have a cat this year. Right, let's get to the game.
This is game time on the Doug Gottlieb Show.
Game is Psychic. Here comes Dan Bauer.
Hey, Doug, the game today is Psychic. Hey, what do you know? By the way, was it like a Shark Tank presentation?
Not quite, yes. It was Shark Tank.
Did you and Angie like go in together and say, all right, we'll allow you to do this, we'll each get 15%?
No, there's no earnings here, it's just spending.
Sure. All right, Psychic, we have 6 scenarios for you. Psychic, will Drew Brees call it quits after this season after the report that he has agreed to a deal with NBC Sports?
Yes.
I think it's kind of seems to be the timeline that we had even before this, but...
Right, but just so everyone is aware, and this is really important, just so everyone is aware, it's what's called a futures contract is actually kind of par for the course in television. Like you can technically have a contract now for like if Dan wants to go into news, right? He has a sports, like some Fox News wants to hire him, he technically could, I don't know the lettering of his contract here, but if it's in a different field, he could sign up when his contract expires, he can right of first refusal. They own his rights and they can pay him some minimal amount. I think it's really smart business by both ESPN, who tried to get him, and NBC, who did get him. And my guess would be, part of this is at some point Al Michaels is going to be replaced by Mike Tirico. You have Tirico, who already calls at Notre Dame games, work with Breeze, and Tirico is the best. He will help you improve. He will work with you, and that way, when they'll both become Sunday night analysts or whatever, or if they go up to Thursday night package or another package when it comes available.
Believed to be, I believe, after the LA Super Bowl, I think there's going to be Al Michaels last one. All right, Psychic, will NFL owners vote to expand overtime back to 15 minutes?
Yes, they will. They will, just because there's a reason we've had more ties, and some of the NFL overtime rules were we figured with because we've changed the rules of overtime. So no matter, but I think having more time doesn't affect it much.
Psychic, do you see the XFL ever returning after suspending operations today?
I don't. I don't know if it was success or failure. I do know that I think it ended, though prematurely, at just the right moment because the ratings were really starting to suffer and sink. But we just don't know what football is going to look like. And this was like they took their time in getting that league going, and it was a very well done league. And even then, the ratings plummeted after the first weekend or two. I'd spend that money again.
UCLA head coach Chip Kelly talking about this, as was Ohio State AD Gene Psychic. Will we see football with the National League for this season and have Grapefruit and Cactus League seasons? That has been proposed by Bob Nightingale in USA Today.
Again, all things are on the table. I think it depends on when they come back and play. But my guess is, yes, they would do that for this year.
If they did, if you won the pennant, you must celebrate with grapefruits or cactuses.
I love that. I love it. Kind of like bowl games where you throw things on the field.
The cactus
Orange Bowl, right?
Yeah, maybe a little, prickly.
Did you see the video of the lady who rode in the cactus plant on a bike ride in Vegas? Arizona?
No.
It looks about what you think it looked like.
All right. Finally, Doug, Iowa's Luka Garza is entering the NBA draft.
Luka Garza.
Will he remain in the NBA draft? Or will he come back to Iowa City?
I think he'll come back to Iowa City. He had a great year. He could have been player of the year. I was Obi Toppin's player of the year, but had a great season. Just where does he play in the NBA? It's a scoring machine, 4 or 5 in college. All right, this may sound crazy, but I'm going to defend Bill O'Brien, head coach and GM of the Texans, next in the Doug Gottlieb Show.
We are Longhorns. Time crunchers, run with us on a John Deere Z535MC track mower, built to mow better, faster, because sometimes you're up against the clock. Like Sunday evening when you've got to cut the grass before the family gets back. So you mow at full throttle with razor-sharp precision, thanks to the Excel Deep mower deck. Then when your family's right around the corner, you're already done. This is more than just grass. It's pride. Nothing runs like a deer. Search John Deere Z500 for more.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Navigating the stock market can be
pretty scary when you retire. Some investors choose annuities, which seem to take the risk out of investing. But Fisher Investments says, watch out. Annuities don't always provide the safety they promise. You can't take a chance. If you have $500,000 or more, call 1-800-885-2288 for Fisher's free guide, Annuity Insights. It answers the annuity questions you should ask. 1-800-885-2288.
This report is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
A little slow on the Tower City Bridge heading eastbound into Troy onto Hoosick Street. And once you get onto Hoosick Street, it's actually not a bad ride. Alternate 7 coast to coast, a 5-minute travel time. 10 minutes coast to coast on 787 north and south. A 10-minute travel time on the Northway from I-90 up to the Twin Bridges. A minor crash southbound near exit 11 on the shoulder. From the WGY Price Chopper Market 32 Traffic Center, I'm Mike Barker.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and auto insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
The American Diabetes Association is monitoring the spread of COVID-19 or coronavirus closely and producing resources to keep you updated and to provide you with actions you can take now to reduce your risk of contracting COVID-19 and to help you know what to do if you get it. You can find those, along with real-time updates and answers to some of the most frequently asked questions about COVID-19 and diabetes at diabetes.org/coronavirus or on facebook.com/TDC Capital Region.
Do you want to learn to speak a new language but don't have enough time? Then you need to try Babbel, the language learning app that you can try for free right now at Babbel.com. Babbel lessons are just 15 minutes or less, and you can go at your own pace. You'll be amazed at how easy Babbel makes it. Start your first lesson in the language of your choice for free. Just download the Babbel app or go to Babbel.com.
Responders and retail workers have emerged as heroes. Lowe's recognizes their efforts, and we want you to join us in creating DIY thank you messages using items you can find in your home. A can of paint, wood scraps, or even Christmas lights. You can find ideas to get you started at Lowe's.com/buildthanks. Once your message is ready, share it outside your home for them to see, and online using the hashtag #BuildThanks.
Did you just look down at your phone? You did it again, didn't you? You know, you're flying down the road in a 3-ton hunk of steel, and the text takes your eyes off the road for an average of 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, that's long enough to travel the length of a football field and cause some serious damage. Turn it off. Trust me, whatever it is, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextsstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Obstructive sleep apnea may sound like snoring, but it can also sound like a car crash. Those suffering from sleep apnea are 7 times more likely to be involved in or cause a fatal car accident. 20 times more likely to suffer from high blood pressure. 8 times more likely to suffer a stroke. And 10 times more likely to suffer a heart attack in their sleep. While it may only sound like snoring, sleep apnea is a serious and even life-threatening condition. But it can be successfully treated. Consult with an oral and facial surgeon as part of a sleep medicine team to find out if your snoring is more than just snoring. Oral and facial surgeons are the experts in face, mouth, and jaw surgery. Learn more about obstructive sleep apnea at myoms.org.
WOFX Troy, WGYFM HD2 Albany, W240EC Albany, Fox Sports 980 and 95.9 FM. Driven by Mohawk Chevrolet in Clifton Park.
they're going to have to pay their quarterback, right? The other thing you have to understand about the David Johnson deal and the Brandon Cooks deal is they're both cuttable at the end of this year. So I'm not saying that Bill O'Brien is the greatest savant GM in the National Football League. Okay? John Lynch has done an incredible job, but let's remember when John Lynch took over, the Niners were at rock bottom, and they had the ability to continue to bottom out, and then they actually kind of got lucky. Right? They got the Garoppolo trade, where Big Ball's just kind of moving away, and then Garoppolo got hurt, which allowed them to tank yet again 2 seasons ago. And that put them in a position to draft Nick Bosa, and they only got Nick Bosa because the Arizona Cardinals decided to draft Kyler Murray #1 overall, even though Bosa was the better prospect on everybody's board. I like Kyler Murray. I think Arizona made the right move in hindsight, but that doesn't happen in most years. You have a rookie starting quarterback, you jettison that guy for another undersized rookie starting quarterback, right? That never happens. But they don't get Deebo Samuel and Nick Bosa if Garoppolo gets hurt. Doesn't get hurt. I'm not telling you Bill O'Brien is a genius. I'm not telling you he's the best GM of all time. But if I told you they were kind of stuck, they needed to free up money for the future. It's not just about this year. Does David Johnson and Brandon Cooks and whoever they draft allow them to be competitive this year? Probably. Probably, and maybe better than they've been. But the bigger win is, at the end of this year, Cooks, Johnson's contracts come off the board, and they're not carrying that weight of a new DeAndre Hopkins contract, which allows them to give Laramie Tunsil and Deshaun Watson new deals. So do you want one of the best left tackles and best young quarterbacks in the league, and then figure out how to replace your running back at the end of this year and a secondary to tertiary speed wide receiver at the end of this year? Or you want DeAndre Hopkins at the risk of losing the quarterback and losing the left tackle? Seems pretty obvious to me that Bill O'Brien actually has a plan. It might not be the one that you think they should do. It might not be the one that other GMs think. But it is not without fault. It is not without merit. And there's a reason they've been able to be consistently competitive, with the exception of when Deshaun Watson got hurt. That's the whole secret to this thing. Can you consistently be competitive? They're in a division where the Colts decided our quarterback's not good enough, we're going to try 1 year with Phillip Rivers. The Jaguars are tanking. They are going to be terrible. And then you got the Tennessee Titans, who re-signed and overpaid their quarterback, and they're going to do the exact same thing to their running back. Right? Like, we crushed Bill O'Brien, but his plan makes a lot of sense to me. I didn't say it's the one that I would have done, but he didn't inherit a blank canvas. God next. Today would have been moving day at Augusta National. Moving day is the day in which you either stay for the weekend, or you pack up your private jet and fly your ass home. Right? Tiger Woods is the defending champion, and he won today. I'll tell you how next.
This is the Doug Gottlieb Show on Fox Sports Radio.
Let's be honest, we don't need the draft.
Not all agree, but the NFL draft will be going on. The Cincinnati Bengals select was covered, and we're covering it like we always do. Join us on April 23rd as we find out who's sentenced to the Bengals on Fox Sports Radio.
With all that's going on, it's easy to forget to take care of ourselves with exercise. Even if we're staying home and staying safe, we need to keep our bodies moving to keep our spirits high. Our trusted friends at Cadenwood, the leaders in CBD, have a way to help. Level Select CBD is a complete line of products, including sports creams and roll-ons. They started with a penetrating formula that, on its own, is a great sports cream. Then they added enough CBD to be really effective.
Level Select CBD is independently tested with 0% THC and made in the USA. It's the choice athletes and non-athletes alike swear by. Visit LevelSelectCBD.com. Order any of their products right now and get 15% off. Use promo code CBD15. That's LevelSelectCBD.com, promo code CBD15. Or subscribe and save even more. LevelSelectCBD.com.
This is a Jackson Hewitt Tax Service announcement. Last year, did you get a smaller tax refund than you were expecting? Or are you worried you're not getting every dollar you deserve? Then you've got a reason to switch to Jackson Hewitt Tax Service. We know our stuff, and we'll make sure you get your biggest tax refund. Plus, it pays to switch to Jackson Hewitt. Come in today and ask a Jackson Hewitt Tax Pro how to get rewarded with $100 when you switch. Get your biggest tax refund. Go to Jackson Hewitt today. That's Jackson Hewitt.
At AutoZone, we've always been there to help get you what you need when you need it, and that hasn't changed. That's why we want to let you know AutoZone stores are still open. Whether it's a quality part or a free battery test to help you stay on the road, we've got what you need. And if you do happen to need anything fast, we've got free store pickup inside the store or curbside, your choice, as well as next day delivery. Our stores are open and we're ready to help make the job easier. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
This report is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
We are looking at a 10-minute travel time on both sides of the Northway from I-90 and Colony, right up to and across the Twin Bridges, and from Clinton Park into Saratoga Springs for good. There was an accident south at exit 11. That's now cleared. We're in good shape on alternate 7 and 787. Thruway has construction on the southbound side, just to the south of the I-90 interchange. From the WGY Price Chopper Market 32 Traffic Center, I'm Mike Barker.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and auto insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to Geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
People everywhere are looking out for each other right now, and there are a few businesses that are doing good, too. Hyundai Hope on Wheels is taking new steps to help families in need, with a commitment to support drive-through testing locations for COVID-19 in cities across the country so families can get tested safely. Because making things better for families is Hyundai's first priority. Meals Up, a new initiative from private aviation company Wheels Up, will supply 10 million meals to the food insecure and those facing hunger during the COVID-19 crisis. Wheels Up is working in partnership with Feeding America and its network of food banks feeding the hungry across the country. MGA Entertainment, the company behind LOL Surprise and Little Tykes, has launched Operation Pac-Man to raise funds for critically needed personal protective equipment. To kick it off, MGA Entertainment is committing $5 million to the cause and will match donations raised by the public. Doing good is good business. We'll let you know about other businesses doing good as we hear about them.
Hey, it's Zach Harris of Fox Sports 980 and 95.9 FM. Coronavirus is impacting us all, and it's in our community. But we're New York tough, and we're going to get through this together. The best way to stay healthy is to stop the spread and stay home. If you do need to leave your home, make sure you cover your face and stay at least 6 feet away from others. Washing your hands is also very important. Make sure you wash your hands regularly throughout the day for at least 20 to 30 seconds. We're in this together, and we will get through this. For more information, check out ny.gov/coronavirus.
These past several weeks, healthcare workers, first responders, and retail workers have emerged as heroes. Lowe's recognizes their efforts, and we want you to join us in creating DIY thank you messages using items you can find in your home. A can of paint, wood scraps, or even Christmas lights. You can find ideas to get you started at lowes.com/buildthanks. Once your message is ready, share it outside your home for them to see, and online using the hashtag BuildThanks.
I'm Tino from 12220. In my community, a lot of families don't encourage higher education.
I'm Guy in zip code 40220. I like my neighborhood okay, but sometimes it's hard to make friends here.
The Y Achievers program opened my eyes to future possibilities and helped me prep for college.
At the Y camp, it's really a safe place. All of the people there are really accepting and nice.
At the Y, my zip code doesn't define my future.
I do.
Support your local Y at ymca.net/for-a-better-us.
Real kids are curious about alcohol. 40% will try it by the time they reach 8th grade. Start a real conversation at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. Talk early, talk often. Get others involved. A message from the U.S. DHHS and the Ad Council.
Fox Sports 980. continuity and 95.9 FM. FS1. To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details. FS1. Show on Fox Sports Radio.
Fox Sports Radio. I'm watching the 2013 Masters, the tradition unlike any other. And then there's a shot on 12, like he's just a brilliant golfer. Brilliant. Dan, do you know who won it in 1997, the U.S. Open?
Yeah, Ernie Els had Congressional.
See, how good was that? How amazing was that? I'm watching him. He didn't look it up. He's just like, duh, Gottlieb, easy. Ernie Els is just this. He like, how does he hit the ball so far? He doesn't look like he's swinging hard. And Darius Rucker and Darius and Hooten Blowfish, they have him. But Sunday, his title right now at a turn. And hey, man, I'm just pars. Everybody chase and take chances, and they fall by the wayside, right? But Tiger Woods wins today. He wins. He wins on three different levels. First level, he wins on he wasn't going to be physically right. No matter what he says, you can't expect to win at Augusta not playing a tournament beforehand. Remember, he had a pullout, was like 2 months ago, and he just hasn't been right since. So first, he avoids playing while not sharp. You would assume it couldn't be it, but the winner today, general manager, cleaned house because they were stealing something a couple years ago. Astros win. The Warriors win. They were tanking this year. It was all Draymond Green. It comes over from Minnesota. LeBron James loses. Tiger's a winner. LeBron was on a path to winning a championship. Now his window closes a little bit. The Dodgers, who won the season, was going to be about, hey, they had a World Series taken from them by the Astros who cheated, and they went all in and went and got Mookie Betts this year alone, and now we wait to see if we'll have a baseball season. Tiger wins today. Dodgers lose today. LeBron loses today. Astros win today. More of that to come. Give me your winners and losers. 877-99 on Fox. John Middlecoff will join us in a second. First, let's get you to Dan Byers. Dan?
Drew Brees is going to have work. Well, we know he's good at quarterback for the New Orleans Saints in 2020. But after that, it looks like Drew Brees is going to be a member of NBC Sports. The New York Post saying that the network has agreed to terms on a deal that would have Brees join the network once he retires. He would start doing Notre Dame football games, serve as an analyst there on Saturdays, also do some studio work on Sundays prior to Sunday Night Football, with the ultimate goal of having Brees be the successor to Chris Collinsworth once he steps away as the analyst for Sunday Night Football. The XFL has suspended all operations and will not return in 2021. The report says employees were notified of the decision on a 10-minute conference call earlier today. NFL Competition Committee has submitted 2 proposed rule changes for the upcoming season. That includes closing a loophole that allowed teams to run time off the clock with dead ball fouls when there's more than 5 minutes left in the game, something the Titans did to the Patriots in their AFC wildcard matchup. In all, there will be 9 proposed rule changes, not only from the Competition Committee, but also from NFL teams, including expanding overtime from 10 minutes to 15 minutes. A report from The Athletic says that Utah Jazz guard Donovan Mitchell remains reluctant to mend fences with his teammate Rudy Gobert. Both players tested positive for coronavirus, with Gobert being the first player to test positive in the league. Iowa All-American Luka Garza is entering his name in the NBA. Still a possibility. Doug, back to you.
The Doug Gottlieb Show, Fox Sports Radio. My man John Middlecoff joins us. Former NFL scout. 3 and Out is the podcast. You download that. Then you download my All Ball podcast. What'd you think of Tua's workout?
You know, it was a better version of what he tweeted out a couple weeks ago. I mean, I don't know if anything changed, because doctors are not basing anything off a workout. They're about MRIs, they're about getting their hands on them, they're about whatever doctors do. But yeah, I mean, his tape's good. I don't know. To me, Tua's not a big workout athlete. Like, he has multiple years of starting at Alabama, playing LSU, playing Clemson, playing all the big boys. I've seen it. Like, to me, a pro day for the Burrows and the Tuas don't mean much. Now, obviously, he's coming off the hip injury, but he showed us within the last month him just scrambling out. Like, yeah, he can move. Yeah, he can throw. He's natural. All right? I don't really take anything away from him.
Yeah, his deal, and this is what I said to start the show. John Middlecoff, our guest, 3 Outs, the podcast, former NFL scout, does an incredible job. My thing is, like, no one ever questioned whether or not Tua can play football and play quarterback. He's really good. The question is, can he stay healthy?
It's not a bad thing, but I don't think it's not like a needle mover. You know, I don't think, like you said, no one's questioning whether Tua can complete footballs. We've seen him do it for 4 NFL players for several years. So I think it's all going to come down to the doctor. And when Mike Lombardi says that, listen, I mean, there are a lot more injuries. And I heard you talk about colleges they've been in the NBA draft forever. Is injuries that aren't as like obvious as a hit the guys have been failed for. There's a reason these doctors go to school for a long time, but they're dealing with stuff that the average smart person has no clue what they're looking at. So there's just a huge unknown, and they just, I don't blame them for trying to be positive and putting that out, but I don't think it does much one way or the other. Like, he's going to go where he's going to go. He's either going to go high, or if he starts falling out of the top 10, it would be immediately clear, right? The teams are not comfortable with either the degenerate, degenerate's too strong, I haven't heard that, but let's just say he has degenerate ankle or hip, then that would be the case, which we've seen happen before.
Yes. It is not perfect science, but there is some science to it.
It doesn't mean they're right, right? It does not mean they're right, but isn't Brandon Roy a guy that got red flags, they still took him, and it didn't happen for him? It happened a lot with running backs, and I think it definitely happens sometimes with basketball players.
Yeah.
You don't often see it with football quarterbacks, for sure. But you've had, I mean, that's how many guys in your lifetime have had a hit?
Look, I know of, well, I mean, I just know, I remember Juwan Blair came out of Pittsburgh. Remember right, and I was the guy who broke that. I think it was the day of the draft, the day before the draft, and I was talking to a GM, and he's like, oh, you know, he's got no ACLs, and so he's gonna, I was like, what do you mean he has no ACLs? He has no ACLs. What are you talking about? It's like, he tore his ACLs in high school and never had them fixed. You can play without them. Like, really? Like, yeah, but, you know, he's ultimately, it's going to shorten his career substantially. He'll be sitting a while.
And a guy recently was Jay Ajayi when he came out of Boise State. He was a really good player, fell to the mid-rounds, not a second contract guy. I remember the Eagles traded for him, but he just had bad knees. But you come out of college, you know, the average fan, he just looked like a dominant player, but he just had degenerate knees.
It does, in fact, happen. Okay, so, what do you think happens at 3, right? At 2, they go Chase Young, don't they? I mean, that feels good. Okay. And oh yeah, by the way, I gotta tell you, when I heard Ron Rivera say, you know, maybe Kyle Allen has to start because we don't have enough time to learn the offense, I think Dwayne Haskins' days are very much numbered there in D.C. But Chase Young at 2, what happens at 3?
Well, they could easily take a corner. I mean, they don't have one. The guy's supposed to be dominant. They could always trade. And the Dolphins both have Herbert rated above Tua. And if that was the case, both those key teams might not be comfortable drafting Tua. You know, I mean, their true medical information, like, yeah, we don't think he's worth a top pick given his medical. So could there be a rush for Herbert? Could the Lions, a good team, a well-run team, which the Lions have not proven to be, would create a buzz about one of the two players. Either they both want Tua or they both want Herbert and try to scare them into making a trade. The Niners did that several years ago. Get the Bears to move up one spot because they had kind of leaked at the Browns loved Trubisky, their analytics, and they were right behind them. It was false. They weren't going to do that. But it freaked the Bears out and got the Niners some extra picks. So if I was the Lions, I would be open to do that. To trade back a couple spots or just take the corner.
Doug Gottlieb Show here on Fox Sports Radio. That's the voice of John Middlecoff. Right now, it is in fact the podcast. Am I crazy to not totally hate what Bill O'Brien's doing? Let me make a sail to you a little bit, right? DeAndre Hopkins, whether or not Cooper signed for $20 million a year, he's going to want that number. They got to pay the left tackle. They got to pay the quarterback. And those contracts don't have to necessarily start this year. They can start next year, or the following year, right? So instead, he gets Brandon Cooks, who I don't love, and I think the Rams overpaid, but $8 million this year for Brandon Cooks, $7 million this year for David Johnson as stopgaps, and then their contracts goes bye-bye. And now he can pay his left tackle, he can pay his quarterback, and he does have a second and a fourth round pick coming his way to help kind of backfill with some other younger talented players. I don't totally hate it. Am I completely off base?
Well, I just struggle with his concept, and I think a lot of coaches struggle with this, the value. It's what separates Belichick. He's great at it. Howie Roseman, who I work for, understands it. The Niners with Kyle, Faraz, and John, they got a pretty good idea. The Seattle's good with it. Sometimes he just trades it. Yesterday, you have a player in Brandon Cooks that the Rams do not want him. They want to clear the salary. Now, he's still good enough despite the head injuries where he's going to have some value. But second-round value, no chance. Like, I just can't be convinced that he couldn't have got him for like a third, fourth, fourth. So to give a second-round pick, like, teams will tell you the second-round pick because you're getting potentially 7, 8, 9-year starter at 3 years at a huge discount is a very, very valuable piece. Now, I get it, you're getting something that's ready-made, but this guy has 5 concussions. The DeAndre Hopkins thing is pretty clear that the market for DeAndre Hopkins isn't quite what the media thinks it is. My issue with that is taking David Johnson at $10 million, and I think I saw some of the comments yesterday. He views David Johnson like a really good player, and I'd agree with him if it was 2017. But he's been injured the last couple of years. He's not a dependable player. Same with Brandon Cooks. Even Randall Cobb is out of him. So he's just taking a chance on a lot of guys that aren't that durable. Or say what you want about Hopkins, and I know as a front office scout type guy, I always struggle with coaches, and I do get it. Because a coach will always tell you, it's easy for you to give me a pain in the butt. You don't have to deal with them in the meeting room, right? That's true. But on Sunday, if the guy produces, this is the big league. And Hopkins, so yeah, he might not have been a good practice player, but he was getting me 110 catches every year. Here's the other thing I will defend Bill O'Brien. People talk about him like he's Freddie Kitchens, or he's like the Raiders head coach, just the village idiot.
Yeah, you're winning games. Yeah,
he's coached 6 years, he's won the division 4 times. You know, and I think right now, me and you, if you were picking the 7 playoff teams, they'd be one of them. So, you know, this upcoming season, I just think sometimes with his value, he's to me, this team that he's built right now on offense, with Fuller, he pulls his hamstring like every 5 go-routes. Yeah. You got Cooks, who just has 5, confirmed concussions, and David Johnson that's just battled some injuries. Like, those guys can play. All 3 of them can. They just get hurt a lot. So the risk, now, if they play an average, let's say all 3 of them average 14-plus games, he'll be in pretty good shape.
That's the voice of John Middlecock, now with the podcast, former NFL scout. Okay, so now we start to listen to Tom Brady's comments. It was a long 2-hour-plus interview with Howard Stern. Your biggest takeaway from that talk was what?
Well, I honestly haven't listened to it yet, besides some of the clips.
Sure.
My biggest takeaway is that Tom Brady, 20 years building this brand of, perfection, the moment he leaves, he goes on Howard Stern. And if you grew up on the West Coast, besides private parks, I didn't know much about Howard Stern until I got Sirius XM radio in the last 7-8 years. And anytime an interview's on, whether it's an actor, whether it's whoever it is, they're fascinating. They're really good. But then I read a review that said Tom Brady's the only guy in America that can go on Howard Stern for 2 hours and not lose. They easily could have gone on Colin's show. You could have gone on Dan Patrick. You still would have gotten softball questions. You could have told them what they can't ask, and they would have taken you. You go on Howard Stern? Is it just because for 20 years he couldn't? Is that the only reason? Because he didn't really say anything, just reading the headlines and just hearing some short clips. It's not like he got... And the reality is Howard doesn't know sports, so he wasn't going to ask him questions that me and you would be that fascinated with. I don't quite understand. It's a little bizarre to me, to be honest with you, that he chose Howard. And I get it. I like Howard as much as next guy.
Look, I like Howard as well. I do think there wasn't the follow-ups that you would normally have.
Why would he pick Howard? That's my question.
I don't think Tom Brady lives in the regular world of athletes. I just don't. I think he is in such a different stratosphere, right? And I don't think he even understands. I don't even think he understands the concept of what you're saying. Right?
Do you know what I think?
There's discussions they tried to do in the past, obviously, that's part of it. But, like, look...
When he was on the Patriots?
Yes, if you know about the Tom Brady, like, one of the things that originally led to some of this pushback was that he, against Brady, was he was taking a helicopter. This is like maybe 10 years ago. He was taking a helicopter to and from games. And if you ever been to Foxborough for a game?
I never have, no.
It's the worst!
Two-lane highway.
Two-lane highway in, two-lane highway out. It's the worst. And there's no other way to get out of that traffic.
WCBS News Center.
These are unprecedented times, which are causing a lot right from the Safe at 4. Never offered option. So now, $7.99, 800-598. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
WCBS News Time 5:08 brings us to traffic and weather together, and my first chance to say good afternoon here to Tom Kaminsky.
Good afternoon, Joe, and good afternoon, drivers. Let's find a little bit of good news here. On the northbound side of the New York State Freeway, we did have a collision right at the Palisades. It is now cleared. Travel lanes there have now been reopened. Over to the New Jersey Turnpike, couple of issues. Northbound Eastern Spur, right around the Vince Lombardi Rest area, collision of the New Jersey Turnpike, exiting at interchange 10. At that exit ramp near the toll plaza, a tractor-trailer collision, so we still had at least part of that ramp shut down. And at last look, we still did have the western spur of the Turnpike southbound. The construction work from 15W on down toward interchange 14. Really not seeing any delays there anymore, but still it is reported to still be out there, and that should be running right through the overnight period. We had delays on the Connecticut Turnpike southbound of exit 39 in Milford. A stall there has been cleared, and the 103 from Suffolk County continuing on the eastbound side of the LIE on the ramp to William Floyd Parkway. We had a crash there. That is still in the process of being cleared with some police activity with that. It's actually on the southbound side of William Floyd Parkway just south of the LIE, so delays in that entire stretch and on that ramp. I'm Tom Kaminsky in the WCBS traffic. So let's get that forecast now. It was a cold, blustery day. Craig Allen, what's in store for us?
Yes, we took a step backwards into March. There's about that, and I'm looking at the daily climate report from stations here, and most of them did report a trace. In other words, nothing sticks, but you saw it in the air. It was coming down with those rain showers, and it is going to remain blustery with these spotty showers of mostly rain, but some wet snowflakes mixed in there. And then later tonight, clearing, the wind diminishing a bit, but it does drop to below freezing in the northwest suburbs. A freeze warning has been issued for the northwest sections of New Jersey. Otherwise, the city will be in the middle 30s, but an even colder wind chill. Tomorrow, there is improvement. We'll start getting back closer to normal again. A mix of sun and clouds, not as windy, high in the mid-50s. Saturday night, fair and chilly, for sure. And then Easter Sunday, the sun gives way to increasing clouds, but most of the day looks dry. Rain and wind coming in, though, for Sunday night. Right now, in the city, Joe, we have 46. Wish it was 56. 46, humidity 40%. Northwest wind gusting to 39 miles per hour.
All right, Craig, thanks so much. WCBS News Times 5:10. More than 40,000 cases of coronavirus on Long Island right now. 1,000 in Nassau, more than 18,000 in Suffolk County. Sophia Hall spoke to County Executive Laura Curran.
Nassau County Executive Laura Curran says she is working to try and help those within the African American and Hispanic communities to get the testing and treatment needed after reports show those two groups are more likely to die from the coronavirus.
Please don't forego testing if you believe that you meet the criteria for it. All the co-pays for testing are waived, meaning the testing is free. Your immigration status is irrelevant. So there really is no reason to forego testing if you do meet the criteria.
She says for a fifth day, the number of people admitted to the hospital in Nassau County is less than those who are discharged, which she says is positive news. Sophia Hall, WCBS News Radio, 880.
While Connecticut's seeing a small decrease in daily hospitalizations and more patients who are stable, Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont reiterated the importance of staying vigilant.
I know the urgency many of you feel to get back to your everyday lives, but I've got to urge you one more time. Now is no time to take your foot off the accelerator. Now is no time to relax the social distancing.
Lamont says he's heard from restaurant owners who are desperate to reopen, but he says it's still not time. The best action is to stay the course. All non-essential businesses and public schools in Connecticut will remain closed until May 20th. WCBS News Time 5:12. We'll talk a little sports right after this.
At Planet Fitness, they know staying active is more important now than ever before, so they're providing daily at-home work-in free for everyone. Live streamed on the Planet Fitness Facebook page at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. No equipment needed. All you need is you. Planet Fitness. United we move.
Daydreaming and Miss Craig Allen forecast. Now you can rewind on the radio.com app and hear it anytime. 5:12 the time. And it's time for sports. The XFL has reportedly suspended operations, laid off nearly its entire staff because of the pandemic.
Major League Baseball is entertaining another potential idea that in order to play the upcoming season, they would do this. Impose a radical plan, says USA Today. It would realign the teams for 2020 with no national and no American league. Teams would be placed in 6 divisions according to their spring training sites. All games would be played in Arizona and Florida. The Yanks would find themselves in the division with the Tigers, the Pirates, the Phillies, and the Blue Jays. The Mets' divisional opponents would be the Nationals, the Cardinals, the Astros, and the Marlins. Would be playing the Mets. And ESPN reports many NBA teams are pushing for the draft to be pushed back to a later date, later this summer, no sooner than August 1st. One-time Rangers coach Tom Webster has passed away. He was just 71 years old. WCBS News Time, Mark 13.
I heard the head of EPA say that the air was safe for us to come back, but that wasn't the case.
Many people who were at ground zero on 9/11 or the days after have developed respiratory conditions which makes them more vulnerable to the effects of COVID-19.
Everything disintegrated. Phones, computers, desks, chairs. The cement was dust, and that's what we inhaled.
The law office of Barish and McGarry reminds everyone in the 9/11 community that you could be more vulnerable to the coronavirus than others.
If you were diagnosed with an illness and you were below Canal Street, and even if you haven't been diagnosed, I strongly suggest you reach out to Barish and McGarry and let them help you.
Now, more than ever, if you were downtown on 9/11 or during any part of the 8 months that followed, visit 911victims.org. The lawyers at Barish and McGarry offer free consultations and will help you register for the World Trade Center Health Program. That's 911victims.org. Barish and McGarry, lawyers for the 9/11 community.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans and Rocket Mortgage. During the challenging times we're all experiencing, top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that'll never change is our commitment to giving you the best mortgage experience. At Rocket Mortgage, our guiding philosophy of every client, every time, no exceptions, no excuses, exists for times like right now. We understand that hardships may arise, and we're prepared to help. If you currently work with us and need assistance with your mortgage, contact us 24/7 at rocketmortgage.com. As we all think about ways to save money, let me remind you that mortgage rates are near historic lows. If you think right now is the right time to refinance your mortgage, our home loan experts are available to help you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at rocketmortgage.com.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
You are never more than 15 minutes from the big stories on WCBS.
Good afternoon, I'm Joe Avalon. With 3 things to know at 5:15. Number 1, coronavirus cases jump on Long Island to more than 40,000, with more than 87,000 cases in the city. Number 2, New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo says there are some positive signs. Hospitalizations, ICU admissions, and intubations are down in New York State. He says these are positive signs, and they're positive signs in New Jersey and Connecticut as well. But the governor says don't stop social distancing. The key to our success. And number 3, the number of coronavirus deaths exceeds 101,000 now worldwide. There are so few subway trains running right now that the passengers that do ride them are crowded in the cars they get into. Rich Lamb has this.
The globe is more clearly that there should be no more than whatever it is. Promised to talk to the MTA about making an aggressive
Tom Kaminsky.
All right, Joe, let's go back around to exit 68. That is William Floyd Parkway, Route 2. So that in that area, Green River Road, the area southbound side. We've had delays Eastern Spur, the interchange 10 in Metuchen. We had a tractor-trailer collision on that exit ramp. I'm Tom Kaminsky at the WCBS Traffic Center.
Well, let's get that forecast now. Checking in with our meteorologist, Craig Allen.
It's a blustery evening. That's a very good term for it, I would say, with winds still gusting over 30 to 40 miles per hour. That's not going to drop off until later tonight. We still have showers spotted around the region until later tonight. Suburbs. Saturday will be clear. Sunday, sun giving way to increasing clouds, but I do believe we have a wind-driven storm for Sunday night into Monday. 60 to 65 when the rain quits later in the day. Tuesday, the city's trying to help some of those cities' low-income residents.
Trying to for this one, so we started to do a couple things already. The first, we set up a match and grant program. Anytime a small business gets any dollars from the state in their grant program, the city of Jersey City will double that with a grant from Jersey City. So that's one step that we're taking. We put some support systems in place for renters with like a right to counsel to help them in case that they have an aggressive landlord that tries to evict them. And then thirdly, today we announced a local relief fund where we're going to be raising dollars, particularly to the developing community and the waterfront corporate community, in order to support our nonprofits and lower income families.
You talked about the needs of seniors as well.
Yeah, so it's obviously tough times, and where we're going to use these dollars primarily is setting up support for the local nonprofits that support low-income individuals in Jersey City, and that's seniors, that's people that are immigrants to Jersey City, or people that have just struggled with unemployment. And we know that those nonprofits, which do terrific work, are struggling right now financially, so we view it as an opportunity to reinforce them from a budget standpoint and then leverage the good work that they're capable of doing and the resources they have in place already to expand that. So that's what we're looking to do in the local fund.
You mentioned something earlier about people facing evictions. Are there landlords trying to evict people in the middle of this?
Well, right now there's a hold on evictions, and we've seen that in New York and New Jersey. So right now the answer is no, but that doesn't mean that in 60 days the situation might be very different. If somebody doesn't have the dollars to pay, it's not as if the governor has provided them rent relief. He just hasn't allowed eviction. So we expect, unfortunately, that there will be some landlords in 60 days that start to pursue aggressive eviction around people that are delinquent on rent during this period. And we want to make sure that they have counsel and legal representation from the city in order to make sure that their rights are. Just thank you so much. It's tough times. We really appreciate you guys covering all this.
WCBS News Time 523.
To see now what these brave warriors are doing in hospitals, not only giving life-saving treatment to people, but every single day putting themselves at risk. I just think that the American public owe a phenomenal debt of gratitude.
A message from WCBS 880 and the Stephen Siller Tunnel to Towers Foundation, honoring heroes on the front lines of the COVID-19 pandemic in our community. Tunnel to Towers is supporting the families of healthcare workers who lose their lives to COVID-19 and leave behind young children. And the foundation is supplying hospitals with personal protective equipment to help keep these heroes safe. Tunnel to Towers has been supporting frontline heroes since 9/11. Join their mission to do good and support our heroes. Donate $11 a month by going to tunneltotowers.org. That's tunneltotowers.org. Or by calling 1-844-BRAVEST.
They don't know your names. They have never seen you before, but when they meet you for the first time, you become their heroes and lifesavers without names. The entire Major World staff and their families say thank you to everyone who's on the front lines for their courage and efforts to keep everyone safe. Major World pledges to all of you. They will be here for you day and night, today, tomorrow, and forever. MajorWorld.com or 800-MAJOR-AUTO. These are unprecedented times, which are causing a lot of stress and financial worry for millions of Americans. But here's some good news. If you owe back taxes to the IRS, Optima Tax Relief can reduce the stress in your life by helping you resolve your tax debt. Make no mistake, you don't want to ignore the IRS right now. They can take your paycheck and everything you work so hard for. But with Optima on your side, you may qualify for help that saves you thousands. Their tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and has resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for taxpayers across the nation. So now's the time for tax help you need, for tax help you trust. Call Optima now for a free consultation. Call 800-598-4799. 800-598-4799. 800-598-4799. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Glimmers of hope.
That's what Governor Cuomo finds in the latest statistics about coronavirus in New York State. We'll have more on that story in 5 minutes on WCBS. It's 5:25 now, and it's time for Money News. No trading on Wall Street today, though. We're taking a look at what happened the other day. We had the Dow up 1.25% on Trading Thursday. The numbers come from Bloomberg. WCBS News Time, 5:26.
I heard the head of the EPA say that the air was safe for us to come back. But that wasn't the case. Many people who were at ground zero on 9/11 or the days after have developed respiratory conditions which makes them more vulnerable to the effects of COVID-19.
I heard you celebrated phones, computers, desks, chairs, simulators, dust, and story in hell.
The law office of Barish and McGarry reminds everyone in the 9/11 community that you could be more vulnerable to the coronavirus than others.
If you were diagnosed with illness and you were below capacity, and if you haven't been diagnosed, I strongly suggest you reach out to Barish and McGarry. Someone can help you.
Now, more than ever, if you were downtown on 9/11 or during any part of the 8 months that followed, visit 911victims.org. The lawyers at Barish and McGarry offer free consultations and will help you register for the World Trade Center Health Program. That's 911victims.org. Barish and McGarry, lawyers for the 9/11 community.
A social distancing tip.
Keeping your distance from others is important in slowing the spread of coronavirus. So here are some fun things to do alone. Read a book, take a walk, unpack your suitcase from that trip you took last September, paint a self-portrait, catch up on a TV series, do a puzzle. Remember, we should all stay home to lower the risk for everyone. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #alone together. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
You're going to talk about extraordinary individuals. Nurses and doctors and healthcare workers, police officers, it's the firefighters, transportation workers, people who are running the grocery stores and the pharmacies. When you see them on the street, please, just say thank you.
These are unprecedented times. Stay connected with WCBS 880 and at radio.com/stay connected.
WCBS News Time, 5:28, brings us to traffic and weather together, where we go every 10 minutes on the 8s. What do you have your eyes on, Tom Kaminsky?
Well, we've still got our eyes, Joe, on this problem in Suffolk County on the eastbound side of the LIE. The ramp to William Floyd Parkway is shut, and the entire stretch of southbound lanes of William Floyd Parkway are closed down. Just south of the LIE, that with a collision and a full police investigation, so we're seeing some northbound delays in that area as well. Other than that, the LIE northern and southern state parkways look to be in good shape. Now, we did have delays earlier on the Springbrook Parkway, Jackson Avenue. A collision there has been cleared. We're just getting word now of a problem on the Palisades, just coming in northbound, right around 9W in Highlands. We have a collision. The lane is blocked. Northbound New York State Thruway is good as we get to and across the Tappan Zee Bridge. On the Connecticut Turnpike, had that earlier collision in Milford, southbound side of exit 39. That's now cleared, everything open there. Back over to New Jersey, the eastern spur of in Metuchen, we had a tractor-trailer collision on
Snowflakes mixed in with those showers this a little day and night and on in
There's in New Jersey has stated nursing to join in the fight against coronavirus, and the mayor is calling for a rent freeze on stabilized apartments to help out of work New Yorkers. In town right now, 47 degrees with a cloudy sky on this Friday, April 10th. Good afternoon. I'm Joe Avalar. This is the WCBS Afternoon Roundup. It's 5:31. The death toll in New York State is now over 7,800. Governor Cuomo announced the latest grim numbers, reporting the one-day fatality rate is down from yesterday, but still nearly 800. He's talking more of a flattening curve that gives us reason to hope. WCBS reporter Peter Haskell joins us now. Peter, please give us some bright spots.
Well, when we talk about flattening the curve, that basically means the rate of increase is declining. That would mean the numbers are flattening. We are seeing that in terms of a hospitalization rate. We're seeing that in terms of intubation. And there's even better news when it comes to ICU patients. The raw numbers in the past day, they actually went down.
What about testing? We hear we can't get back to normal until the testing capacity increases, the number of tests that we can give. What's all this about?
Right now, this is 300 tests a day. By next Friday, the governor said it'll be about 1,000, and by the week after, about 2,000. But according to Cuomo, that's not nearly enough. We need to test. We need to know who is sick now and who has been recovered, and then we can figure out who goes back to work and when, and we can look to reopen our businesses and our schools.
That's a good point, Peter. I mean, there are 19.3 million people in the state, so as you say, just a few thousand tests a week doesn't begin to cover it. There's also talk about helping the workers who have been on the front lines of the battle against the virus. Well, what's the government? I fully understand.
It's very Governor Murphy said that the Easter those groups include inmates at a higher health risk, like older people, people with underlying health conditions, along with people who are serving the last 3 months of their sentence. Murphy was careful to stress that inmates convicted of serious crimes like murder and sexual assault will not be eligible for this.
WCBS reporter Steve Burns, thank you. WCBS News Time 5:35. 24 residents of the Central Indiana nursing home hit hard by COVID-19 have died. This from the state's health commissioner. 16 of the residents at the Bethany Pine Health Campus in Anderson had tested positive for the disease caused by coronavirus, and the other 8 had compatible symptoms. Turkey has announced a 2-day curfew in 31 of Turkey's largest cities as it tries to curb the spread of coronavirus. Turkey's COVID-19 death tolls passed the 1,000 mark. The number of infections in Turkey reached 47,029. An Interior Ministry statement says all residents of Istanbul, Ankara, 29 other cities will be barred from leaving homes until Sunday night. The ban came amid concerns that with fine weather predicted over the weekend, many would ignore government advice to stay home. Turkey has so far avoided a total lockdown, but has ordered anyone above the age of 65 or below the age of 20 to stay at home. A Connecticut teen accused of a cyber attack known as Zoom bombing during online classes has been charged. The Hartford Courant reports officials were able to trace a series of similar interruptions to one teenager in Madison, Connecticut. Zoom bombing, which is when an unwanted guest joins a video call with the intention to disrupt it and harass people. This began to happen when Madison Public Schools turned to Zoom to conduct classes amid coronavirus pandemic. Police say teachers reported the unidentified teen was joining online classes intentionally disrupt them with obscene language and gestures. The teen is being arrested.
Police officers, and it's the firefighters, transportation workers, people who are running the grocery stores and the pharmacies. When you see them on the street, please just say thank you.
These are unprecedented times. Stay connected with WCBS.
More news, more often. A conviction in a corruption case involves
subway and bus ridership is on the decline. Revenues.
Southbound New York State Freeway shut down as you get to the Tappan Zee Bridge.
Any shower or thunderstorm may contain heavy rain, flooding rain.
Count on WCBS News Radio 880.
WCBS News Times 5:38. That's time for traffic and weather together. It's where we go every 10 minutes on the 8, so let's check in with Tom Kaminsky.
All right, Joe, let's go back over to the one problem that we have in Suffolk County, which is on William Floyd Parkway. It is shut both ways now, right in that area just south of the LIE. We had a collision and now a full police investigation. So again, both ways we are shut down there. It's going to be local streets around it. But if you're on the LIE, that ramp from the eastbound side of the LIE, westbound too, on that ramp going to the southbound side of William Floyd Parkway, that is going to be shut down. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. We've had other delays on the New Jersey Turnpike. Still some exiting volume there at Interchange 10 in Metuchen, that because of a collision, a tractor trailer involved in that. New Jersey Transit, we have 6 trains canceled this afternoon because of crew inavailability. 1 on the Northeast Corridor line, 3 on the Raritan Valley line, and 2 on the the Morrison Essex line, and of course it's been a reduced schedule, a modified schedule on NJT. Anyway, the subways, the LIRR, Metro North, running on the essential service plan, and of course the volume, the level of ridership is way down. So at this point, again, all of that is pinned to the top of our Twitter feed at WCBS 880 Traffic. You can find it all there. I'm Tom Kaczynski in the WCBS Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, let's take a look at Craig's forecast here. Right now in town, it's 46 degrees with winds gusts in excess of 20 miles an hour. It's going to be blustery with spotty showers of rain and even some snow through this evening. And then it will clear. It'll be a bit cold, but it will clear. It'll get down to the mid-30s here in the city, 28 to 32 in the suburbs. The wind's going to make it feel a lot colder. As for Saturday, we've got mixed sun and clouds. Not as windy with a high temperature in the mid-50s. And Easter Sunday, well, the sun will start us off, which is nice. And then it will give way to increasing clouds. By the end of the day, there's a chance of rain, with the likely at night. I mentioned it before, Monday is going to be a washout. The rain starts late Sunday night, continues right through Monday. There's a possibility of rain heavy at times, maybe even a thunderstorm. The high temperature Monday will be 60 to 65. And Tuesday, with the clouds and sun, but also a chance of showers.
Answer your toughest questions. Call
CBS. The Atlanta Magic's home arena will become a distribution center for medical equipment and supplies as part of the coronavirus fight. Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer and the Magic say the Amway Center will be used as a space for as long as is required. There are contingencies to continue if the need is still there when the NBA will be. The says also going to suspend operations when all of its staff because of the pandemic. Major League Baseball is entertaining another potential idea to try to start the season. USA Today reports Baseball runs the plan for a realignment to 2020 with no national or American leagues. Teams would be placed in 6 divisions according to their spring training sites. All games would be played in Arizona and Florida. The Yankees would find themselves in a division with the Tigers, the Pirates, the Phillies, and the Blue Jays. The Mets would be with the Nationals, the Cardinals, the Astros, and the Marlins. WCBS News Time, 5:44.
There will be parties against sin and family gatherings. There'll be parades and sporting events and concerts. To help our communities when they come back together, respond to the 2020 census now. Spend a few minutes online today to impact the next 10 years of healthcare, infrastructure, and education. Respond online today to make America's tomorrow brighter. Shape your future. Start here at 2020census.gov. Paid for by U.S. Census Bureau.
At CDW, We get that an unsecured laptop can put your company's data at risk, making you a little paranoid.
I'm not paranoid. You're paranoid.
CDW can implement a secure mobility solution using the HP EliteBook with Intel 8th generation processors and SureView privacy to protect your screen from prying eyes. IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/HP security.
Who's that?
There will be parties against sin and family gatherings. There will be parades and sporting events and concerts. Respond to the 2020 census now. Spend a few minutes today to impact the next 10 years of health, infrastructure, and education. Respond online today. And those from there is tomorrow, Friday. Shape your future. Start at 2020census.com.
Connecticut's largest discount tire dealer, because we give you the guaranteed lowest price and we honor every manufacturer's rebate. We even honor all our competitors' rebates. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. You're never more than 15 minutes from the CBS.
Good afternoon, I'm Joe Aguilar. We have three things to know this afternoon. Number one, wants the federal government to get directly involved in making more tests available quickly. Homa says much almost universal testing is necessary if we're ever to get back to normal. Number two, Governor Cuomo wants the feds to create a heroes compensation fund to help medical professionals and others who are fighting the virus for us. And number three, the number of coronavirus cases tops 87,000 in New York City. More than 5,800 have died from COVID-19. WCBS News Time. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Let's move on to this. New York hospitals being shortchanged in the first allowance of $30 billion in federal money for hospitals fighting coronavirus. On the newsline now, Long Island Congressman Tom Suozzi. Congressman, thank you for joining us here at WCBS.
Doesn't make any sense. I mean, there's a $100 billion fund. They're setting up $30 billion now, and they're doing it based upon New York City has 40% of all these cases. So California get more than us, and other states are getting more. Texas is getting more than us, and we got 40% of the cases. Texas is 2% of the cases. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I noticed in Florida, in the letter, it sounds political, frankly, doesn't it?
I'm not going to point fingers yet. I don't know that. They may have just wanted to get the money out quickly, but even if it's not political, it's pretty. If anybody wants that, but we have to recognize and be respectful of the fact that this is a undertaking, that we're all trying to, fix this as we go along. It's much too slow for my satisfaction. It's much too slow for most lay people's satisfaction. But in the context of how big it's normal as far as the timetable. It's unacceptable that New York is not getting more special attention. We've heard the governor talk about this regularly. But right now, we need the help.
Yes, we do. Congressman Tom Suozzi from Long Island. Thank you. Now on the westbound side at Bayshore Road, exit 41, a collision, one lane is blocked, and on the northern state, eastbound, around Wolf Hill Road, a collision and one lane is closed. William Floyd Parkway is shut both ways to south of the LIE with a collision and a police investigation, so it is heavy on the LIE trying to exit there, and that exit ramp is shut at exit 68 for William Floyd Parkway. I'm Tom Kaminsky in the WCBS Traffic Center. And here's a cool forecast. Here's meteorologist Craig Allen.
Yeah, it's more than just cool. It's cold outside with that wind, and we've seen some wet snowflakes mixed in with those showers. A step back into March for today. It's only 46, should be up around 59. 46 right now, northwest wind gusting up close to 40 miles per hour. So it has that, as I said, early March feel. Any rain and snow showers ending this evening. Blustery weather doesn't, that continues. It doesn't really start to diminish until later tonight. Lows in the mid-30s in the city. Sun and clouds for Saturday, highs in the mid-50s. Sunday, sun giving way to increasing clouds, and stay connected with the Altice 5-day forecast, and definitely we will need to. because while Sunday is okay, Sunday night into Monday, this is looking more and more like a pretty important, tightly wound up storm for that time frame of wind and rain, 60 to 65, and then Tuesday, clouds, some sun, but also a chance of a shower and a high right around 60 degrees. Currently 46, as I said, and tonight's low down into the 30s.
Thanks, Greg. WCBS News Time 5:51. As we were talking about, the number of coronavirus cases tops 87,000 in New York City. More than 5,800 New York City residents have died from COVID-19. This afternoon, Mayor de Blasio toured the Billie Jean King Tennis Center. We've got reporter Mac Rosenberg on the news line now with more. Mac, we understand the mayor's renewing his calls for a rent freeze. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Joe, it would apply to nearly 1 million rent-stabilized apartments, and there are nearly 2 million people living in those apartments. Rent changes in the city are determined each year by the New York City Rent Guidelines Board. And the mayor initially was on that board altogether and institute the rent freeze. The state got back to him on that and said it might not be the best way to go because of legal issues that could come. So the mayor is now saying that he's going to go through the regular process of simply requesting that the board work with him to consider a rent freeze. He's also trying to get the landlords to
Still can't reach their state unemployment office for benefits. We'll have more on this story in just a few minutes here on WCBS. 5:55 is our time. There's no money news today. Markets were closed for Good Friday.
Contractors, Riverhead Building Supply wants the best for your clients. That's a great reason to choose the GAF roofing system. Riverhead Building Supply is a full-line GAF retailer, giving you immediate delivery on stock GAF shingle styles, colors, and accessories. Choose from more than a dozen shingle types and more than 40 color blends, all backed by one of the best roofing warranties in the business. Riverhead Building Supply. Visit rbscorp.com. Building Supply. Build smarter. Build better.
Never in our lifetime have we been faced with so much uncertainty. A life-threatening virus, sheltering in place, brink of a recession. It's no wonder we all feel like we're teetering on the edge. And while we can't control what's happening in our world, we can at least reduce our own stress and get a good night's sleep. Your solution? Whole Tones, the healing frequency music project. Whole Tones is frequency-based music that can help you relax the body, clear the mind, and get better sleep.
As soon as I listened to Whole Tones, I felt less stressed, and I noticed my sleep became deeper and more restful.
Proven Whole Tones has helped millions of people get a better night's sleep. For a limited time, check out WholeTones.com and get $10 off. Visit WholeTones.com and use promo code RADIO to get $10 off your purchase. Whole Tones offers a 90-day money-back guarantee. Visit WHOLETONES.com for a free sample and use code RADIO for $10 off.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and only available if the physician determines the prescription is appropriate. Prescription required. See website for full details and important safety information.
Hey guys, good news. The outrageously expensive little blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And Hims makes it extra affordable. You pay just $30 for a month's supply. And right now, get your first online doctor's visit totally free when you go to 4hims.com/joy. That's right, free. Zero copay, no expensive appointments, no awkward face-to-face conversations to get your prescription. Hims connects you to doctors online who can evaluate you and, if appropriate, prescribe your ED medication. And a pharmacy sends it right to your door. Hims makes it affordable, private, and incredibly easy. Nobody likes dealing with ED. Now, thanks to Hims, nobody has to. And that's really good news. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/joy.
WCBS News Time, 5:58. Time for traffic and weather together. Here's Tom Kaminsky. We go back over to Suffolk and Nassau counties. First off, William Floyd Parkway still shut both ways in the area just south of the LIE. We had a collision and a police investigation. It looks a little bit better there than it did about 15 or 20 minutes ago, so we may be in the wrap-up stage there, but we still see the delays, and that ramp from the eastbound side of the LIE onto William Floyd Parkway is shut. Southern State westbound at Bayshore Road, a collision. Northern State eastbound at Wolf Hill Road, watch for a crash there. One other note for you in New Jersey, northbound side of 440 at Woodbridge Avenue, a collision. Here comes Craig with the forecast.
45 miles per hour. It'll take a while before that dies down later tonight. And we still have some spotty showers around too, mostly just a couple raindrops from each little individual shower, but once in a while you do see some wet snowflakes mixed in, especially across the northern and western suburbs. And then later tonight, clearing. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, not as windy, it'll be in the mid-50s. Sunday itself is dry, but a storm for Sunday night into Monday.
This is WCBS and WCBS-FM HD2 New York.
For the first time since the coronavirus outbreak began, the number of patients in intensive care in New York has dropped. Another sign we're flattening the curve. Mayor de Blasio wants a rent freeze for the 2 million New Yorkers living in rent-stabilized apartments. Coronavirus. President Trump predicts may be far lower than originally feared. 47 degrees, partly cloudy, couple of slight showers on Friday, April 10th. Good evening, I'm Michael Wallace.
More than just the headlines. This is WCBS News Radio 880.
It's 6 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Dell Small Business.
I'm Pam Coulter in Washington. President Trump says he believes U.S. deaths from the coronavirus will be substantially fewer than the minimum 100,000 his task force estimated last week. CBS's Stephen Portnoy says now Mr. Trump is focused on getting Americans back to work.
His own medical experts insist it's not yet time to lean back on social distancing.
but the president says he'll appoint a new panel next week.
I call it the Opening Our Country Task Force, or Opening Our Country Council.
Mr. Trump says he'll listen to the experts, but use his own brainpower to decide when to urge Americans back to work.
This is by far the biggest.
In New York, there's cautious optimism that the state is slowing the average
hospitalizations. Negative number for the first time.
The virus is striking even in states with a lot of open spaces. In Idaho, there are more than 1,200 confirmed cases and 18 deaths. CBS's Michael George has more.
The virus continues to spread in the Midwest. A makeshift hospital at Detroit's Convention Center started accepting patients Friday. And in Wisconsin, the health department says it's monitoring potential coronavirus infections that may have occurred during Tuesday's election. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Nearly 17 million Americans filed claims for jobless benefits in the last 3 weeks. And CBS's Jim Krasula says for many, it's a very frustrating experience.
New Gloucester, Maine iron worker Brian Campbell is among the millions of suddenly unemployed amid coronavirus. Like countless others, he's been frustrated trying to sign up for unemployment benefits.
Just call and hang up and call again.
Unemployment claims are overwhelming state computer systems.
Concerning that the ability to get without when we do need it isn't there.
Some state unemployment computer systems are 30 to 40 years old. Jim Krasula suggests
inflation turned to deflation last month.
Led by a big drop in gasoline prices as well as hotel costs, airline tickets, and apparel, the consumer price index dropped by 0.4% in March, and the effects of the coronavirus were apparent even if you dropped energy and food from the mix. Prices were still down by 0.1%. That hasn't happened in a decade.
Stock markets are closed in observance of Good Friday. This is CBS News.
Dell Small Business Technology Advisors offer advice, one-on-one partnership, and tailored tech solutions like computers with Intel Core processors. Call an advisor today at 877-BUY-DELL.
Your news, live and local. This is WCBS News Radio 880, a radio.com station.
47 degrees, partly cloudy here in Lower Manhattan. Maybe another shower or two or some wet snow this evening. Then clearing overnight and cold. 30s in the city, 20s in the suburbs tonight. Tomorrow, a little milder and not as windy, partly sunny and a high in the mid-50s. 6:03 at WCBS. New York's curve still appears to be flattening, even though the state had another 777 deaths in the past 24 hours. WCBS's Peter Haskell has the latest from Governor Cuomo.
The numbers are encouraging, showing the curve is flattening. The governor says we haven't reached the stratospheric projections because of the calls to stay in.
What we do today will determine the infection rate 2 or 3 days from now.
He was asked about his credibility in light of the faulty numbers. Cuomo claims he followed the experts.
The way you lose credibility is either you're in denial about what you're looking at, or you don't act fast enough, or you don't achieve the goal.
He's also calling for a federal heroes fund that would be similar to the 9/11 fund. Peter Haskell, WCBS News Radio 880.
New Jersey's seeing more signs of progress, even though it had another 233 deaths since yesterday. WCBS's Steve Burns has more from Governor Murphy.
New Jersey's first coronavirus case came in Bergen County. Now, Bergen is seeing one of the flatter curves in the state, with new cases coming around every 7 days.
Please God, it continues, and we get other counties that continue to clock over.
Governor Murphy knows this weekend may pose the biggest challenge yet to his social distancing orders.
We gather normally at Easter to work. We gather children's eating hunt for family meals with friends. We can't do any of that this year. I feel awful, but we can't.
Murphy's latest executive order is in the prison system, granting temporary home confinement or parole to inmates in certain categories, including those at a greater health risk or those who are set to get out in the next 3 months.
And I want to stress that no one convicted of a serious crime, such as murder, sexual assault, among others, will be eligible.
Steve Burns, WCBS News Radio 880.
Mayor de Blasio toured the newly opened field hospital at the Billie Jean King Tennis Center in Queens today and announced he's pushing for a rent freeze from the Rent Guidance Board. WCBS reporter Mac Rosenberg has more.
More than 2 million New Yorkers live in rent-stabilized apartments. The city's Rent Guidelines Board makes decisions about rent changes, and Mayor de Blasio is asking the state and the board to institute a rent freeze during the pandemic.
To ensure that New Yorkers are going through the greatest economic crisis since the Great Depression and are covered by the jurisdiction of the Rent Guidelines Board. And again, that's over 2 million of us, that all those good New Yorkers who are struggling right now get a rent freeze.
He says for people who can't pay the rent, they should be allowed to use their security deposits to do so. The mayor is a landlord himself. He owns 2 buildings in Park Slope. Has he allowed his tenants to stop paying rent?
So our tenants all are employed and are all able to pay.
Mac Rosenberg, WCBS News Radio 880.
The coronavirus is stressing New York City's 911 system at historic levels. Operators are answering a call for help every 15 and a half seconds. The system is so... The city is sending texts and tweets urging New Yorkers to only call 911 if it's a life or death situation. The FDNY says it gets more than 5,000 ambulance calls a day. That's more than its call volume on 9/11. Firefighters and EMTs now need about 10 minutes to respond to each call. That's up from 6.5 to 7 minutes on a normal day. WCBS News Time, 6:07.
Hi, it's Lin-Manuel Miranda. As everyone who works in the theater knows, we have one favorite word, intermission. We can get out of our costumes for a few minutes, catch our breath, maybe have a quick bite. Today, that word has a much different meaning. The truth is, we're all on intermission right now, taking time out from our lives, our communities, and our friends so we can protect ourselves, the people around us, and especially our heroic health professionals. But it's only intermission, because everyone loves a great second act. And if there's one thing we can be sure of, Broadway will be back, New York City will be back, and the world will be back. In the meantime, if you would like to help by donating money, supplies, or time, please visit coronavirus.health.ny.gov. If you'd like to support theater workers who are in need of health care, emergency financial assistance, and/or counseling, please visit BroadwayCares.org or visit starsinthehouse.com to see up-close and personal at-home performances by Tina Fey, Andrew Lloyd Webber, Vanessa Williams, myself, and many others, and donate there. Thanks so much. We'll see you after intermission.
WCBS News Time, 6:08. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. Here's Tom Kaminsky.
All right, let's start first off with some troubles now on the rails. The 6 trains are suspended Avenue. There was a train, what's being termed a minor derailment involving one axle of a train coming off of the tracks. Everyone's safely evacuated to a rescue train, so the MTA is investigating. So again, no service on the 6 trains north of Hunts Point Avenue. We'll keep you posted on that. The N trains are delayed at 86th Street. There is a switch problem at Coney Island Avenue. We've had delays. Now, of course, the subways, the LIRR and Metro North, all running on the essential service plan. New Jersey Transit trains and buses with modified schedules, PATH trains with modified schedules, all of that up on our Twitter feed, pinned right to the top of it, and that is at WCBS 880 traffic. Northbound Harlem River Drive, just north of the RFK Bridge, we have a collision in that area of 135th Street. The northbound side of 440 in New Jersey at Woodbridge Avenue, watch for a crash. I'm Tom Kaminsky in the WCBS Traffic Center.
And the Weather Center, Chief Meteorologist Craig Allen, how's this weekend shaping up?
Well, the weekend's going to be pretty decent overall, with the next storm now slated to hold off until Sunday night, but it could be quite a storm. And it's a good thing it's not coming during Easter Sunday during the daylight hours itself. That's good. It's slowing down, getting pushed back. Still, looks like a pretty hefty storm, though. Tonight, we still have the blustery conditions with spotty showers of rain and even some wet snowflakes through the evening. Then clearing later tonight with lows in the mid-30s, 28 to 32 in the suburbs, and that wind chill as well. This really feels suddenly like a winter night. A mix of sun and clouds on Saturday, not as windy. It does improve. It'll be back up into the mid-50s by tomorrow afternoon. But as I said, Sunday, starting with sun, then increasing clouds. Rain should hold off until night. High on Sunday, 55 to 60. Right now in the city, still very windy, gusting up to 44 miles per hour. It's 47 degrees.
Thank you, Craig. At 6:10 at WCBS. Emergency rooms in New Jersey are reporting a drop in non-coronavirus admittals. The New Jersey Hospital Association says with many non-essential businesses closed and more people working from home, there are fewer car crashes and workplace injuries. Plus, many people fear going to the ER and catching the coronavirus. The association says people who think they need to go to the hospital should check with their doctors first. Some cases can be treated over the phone via telemedicine.
More than 600 uniformed NYPD officers who've tested positive for the virus have recovered and returned to work. For the first time since the crisis began, there are more cops who have returned to work than those who've been out sick. Police Commissioner Dermot Shea said today about 20% of the department remains out sick, but he says there is light at the end of the tunnel. 3M is suing a New Jersey company that tried to sell 3M face masks to New York City at a 600% markup. The suit alleges Performance Supply LLC of Manalapan lied to the city that it was authorized to distribute and sell N95 masks, which have been in short supply. 3M is seeking undisclosed financial damages, all of which it promises to donate to coronavirus relief efforts. 611 at WCBS.
This is John Green. If your teeth are stained from coffee, smoking, swabs is the answer. In 5 minutes you'll see 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. Even better, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes, and you're done. To try Power Swabs, call 1-800-679-0969. Your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free. 1-800-679-0969. That's 1-800-679-0969.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
At Ace, we always have been and always will be committed to our local communities, because we're here to help others. So in this time of need, your local Ace remains open, and since we're in your neighborhood, we can deliver almost anything you need. So shop in store or online for the home or yard products you're looking for, and choose from top brands like Steel, Ego, Toro, and Scott's. Then you can pick up in store, curbside, or we'll deliver your order right to your door. Help is just around the block. See AceHardware.com for details.
WCBS News Time 612. Now a check of sports on this Friday afternoon. It's been a busy day, believe it or not, even though no one's playing anything. The Orlando Magic's home arena will become a distribution center for medical equipment and supplies. Orlando's Mayor Buddy Dyer said the Magic say the Amway Center will be used as a staging space for as long as is required. The XFL has suspended operations and laid off nearly all its employees because of the pandemic, and the XFL says it has no plans to return in 2021. Major League Baseball is entertaining another potential idea to play the upcoming season. USA Today reports there's a radical realignment possibility with no national or American leagues. Instead, teams would be placed in 6 divisions according to their spring training sites. All the games would be played at those sites in Arizona and Florida. The Yankees would find themselves in a division with the Tigers, Pirates, Phillies, and Blue Jays. The Mets' divisional opponents would be the Nationals, Cardinals, Astros, and Marlins. ESPN is reporting many NBA teams are pushing the league for the draft to be pushed back to later in the summer, no sooner than August 1st. Right now it's set for late June. 613 at WCBS.
While hopefully you're all staying safe and healthy, many of you are probably at home now. You can use some of the time to spring clean.
And you're going to get more of those in the days to come, because some of them were running behind us. Now, I'm not saying we're out of the woods yet, because we're not. I talk to people at the hospitals here, and they say that they're not seeing fewer deaths, but they're seeing fewer people come to the hospital, fewer people going to intensive care. They are seeing that. So that's a positive. But they're not seeing fewer deaths in our areas yet. They will. Fewer numbers that go in, eventually there'll be fewer numbers dying. It's just as simple as that. But right now, that's not the case. So the death numbers are still horrific. We're still dealing with that every night. 700, 770, just outrageous numbers of people. Your heart goes out to every one of them.